Okay, well, it's time for the annual servicing of the dryer here. And we do a lot of laundry, probably a couple loads a day. And about every year and a half or so, I pull the dryer out and give it a good servicing. The complaint is it takes a longer time to dry the clothes in the unit. So generally what I do is I tear out the old dryer hose and either inspect that or clean it or throw it away or whatever. In this particular case, I decided to replace the hose, so I'm going to do that, and that's going to go down in here. And what I've done is torn the back of the dryer off, as you can see already, and lots of dust accumulates. That's not very good look, that's not very good to get all that lint and stuff around the power terminals. That could start a fire. Now there's a cover that covers this, but even though they still, you get lint in here. Here are your thermostats. Here's the non-repairable fuse, the little white unit right here, which I've explained on a previous video on how those work, and there's another thermostat there as well. Now, that little non-repairable fuse, one of the reasons why those will go out is because they get covered with lint, and they also sense the back pressure in here, and it just kind of wears them out prematurely, so we're going to clean that out too. So what I did is I took the screws off this little ducting piece here, and I just wanted to kind of show you how this accumulates. Now, this is the exhaust, or this is the input port. No, wait a minute. Yeah, this is the intake port, and what happens is those holes will fill up with dust. That's from the drum. Goes into here. Your filter slides up into here, right? And all the lint comes from the dryer, and it's sucked into here via this little duct piece. This is the blower motor, okay? And then this goes out to the pipe, or to the tube, the flexible hose. The burner here feeds into the top of the dryer drum, circulates through the dryer, comes back out here, into here, through your filter assembly, okay, and out this way. And what happens a lot of times is this will clog up with dirt, and as you can see, there's a bunch of crud down in the bottom, and that does restrict airflow. I pulled these apart and had them to where there's just a small hole, say like maybe about like this, breathing out of them, and all this stuff is filled with dirt. That's not a very safe thing, because that's the way to get a fire going, is by having all that material in there. But it takes the efficiency of the dryer and just pretty much just knocks it in half. So a lot of times you'll have to do an extra cycle, and you can maybe get the towels dry or something like that. So what I do here is I just get the old melee going here, and we'll just kind of clean all that stuff out. Okay, so we get that stuff cleaned out. That looks better. Now, I did pull this thermostat out just to check and see if there was any buildup inside, and it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to basically get all the lint off of most of this wire harness. Going to get the lint away from these contacts. Clean that up. Clean all this up. Clean up behind here, behind the ducting. Get all that looking good. Get all this stuff done. And I clean this area out. I poured these apart before and had these holes had so much lint in them, you can't really get any airflow going through there. It just restricts it. We'll do that. Just kind of clean this up here. Make sure that spins freely. That looks pretty good. Nothing down inside there. Now I noticed that when I took the screws off, they were fairly loose, and they might have worked loose, and maybe that's why I got some of this other lint down here. So I'm going to get rid of that. Screw that up. There we go. Now, I'm going to take this, grab oops. Sorry about this. Bad camera work. I'll just get in there and probe around and get that out. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'll dump it out right here to show you. That's quite a bit of dirt. It's about a year and a half's worth of dirt. Not too bad this time. I've got quite a bit more out before. I think I let it go for maybe 2 years at one time. My dryer that was in the last video, it's a commercial service unit, and it gets a lot of work. A lot of usage, and I clean it out every year, and I easily get this amount of dirt out of it. Quite a bit more, actually. And you can blow it out with air, take it outside, you know, hit it with high pressurized air. But really, if you don't let them get too built up in the first place, not really that big a deal. It's not really that big a deal if you just service them often. Move the cord here. Slide this unit back up in here. It can be a little tricky. There we go. But it won't put up too much of a fight. And that's the unit. So now, this duct has been cleared out. We've got the lint off the terminals, and we've got those sensors cleaned up. And pretty much most all the lint out of there. I'll put it back together and hit it one more time. This is what I'm talking about. This is the area here. Now I saw on TV they make a item that they sell on nighttime TV on those, you know, commercials that you can stick a tube down in here and it'll supposedly clean them out. If you don't have any tools, you can't move your unit, and it would be hard to do a job like this or perform a job like this, whether you have the tools or you're just not mechanically inclined. Those would possibly work. I don't know if the tube is long enough to actually go in from here and go all the way down to the base here where we cleaned out. I'm sure they would help, but I would rather physically take this piece out because then you know that you've gotten everything out. And anyway, do this about every year, year and a half, depending on how much you use your dryer. It's kind of good to give it a little checkup anyway. Make sure your hose doesn't leak, the duct hose doesn't leak, and you know, it's just better to keep it clean back here. This wasn't too bad, so this may increase the temperature or the airflow, so she can maybe get everything done in one cycle. So we'll just have to see. But anyway, there you go. I hope that helped.